Yo, what's up, good people? Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's AA Sports. You got your boy Diego Barishnikov in here. I'm live with my man, Uncle Hate. We're here for episode 193. Again, AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. Uncle Hate, what's good with you, baby boy?
What's good people? It's your boy, Uncle Hate, the other A in AA Sports, broadcasting live here on a Tuesday. About to do our week 5 recap. Flying by, it's 5 weeks already. What's good?
Everything is good. Everything is good. People, we appreciate y'all tuning in as always. Whether you watch us on YouTube or whether you listen on one of the podcast platforms, whether it be Spreaker or iTunes, continue to show us some love and support there. Share that content, and always don't forget to subscribe. Like Hate said, we're gonna be jumping into these week 4 observations. Week 5. Excuse me, week 5. Scores this past week.
I ain't changing shit.
Some pretty good. I was thinking 5 because my boys 49ers, we just played our 4th game because we had that early whack ass bye. So it's kind of week 5 to me in my head because of that. But we'll get into that game for Monday night. We'll get into some other big games. Wheels are starting to fall off in a couple of places, I think.
Yeah.
It's pretty early in the season for that. So we'll touch on all that. But let's just go ahead, I guess, get right on into Thursday night game from last week. The Seattle Seahawks edged out the Rams 30-29 up there in Seattle. Russell Wilson had a real good game. The Rams, they still look a little – they putting up 25, 30 points every week, but they still look shaky.
Yeah, they don't look as dominant as they did last year or the year before. It doesn't look the same. Now, they started this game off feeding Todd Gurley. I want to say he ran the ball 11, 12 times in the first half, but they went away from it in the second half, and it wasn't like the game was out of reach. They were never really out of it like that. So I think they're up to 118 passes over the last 2 games for Jared Goff. That's not the recipe, people. It's not.
Nah, it's really not. And I know we talk a lot about their offense. On the other side of the ball, that defense, especially that secondary, what's going on back there? Because you got veteran names like a Aqib Talib. I think Eric Weddle played there now, right?
Eric Weddle, yeah.
Weddle's back there. Marcus Peters on the other side. And some of the things that are going on in that secondary as far as the big plays that they're allowing, it's kind of baffling, even on that side of the ball.
Man, we were talking about it over the weekend. Talib been around for a long time. It don't seem like it, but he's been around for a minute. And you remember before, folks didn't throw at him.
Right.
That wasn't happening. The secondary is the weakest part of their team right now. Teams aren't, from what I can gather, really running on them, but you can get them on that back end. That has to change. Russell Wilson ate them alive in that game last week. Now the crazy thing is, it seems all doom and gloom. Had that kicker made that kick, and Legatron normally is automatic from 55 on,
right.
And normally he makes those kicks, but had he made that kick, this would be a different conversation, but he didn't. And they're on a 2-game losing streak, heading into play y'all. So it just and McVay does not seem like he has all the answers this year. It just don't seem like it.
Yeah, especially with Todd Gurley not being able to carry a full workload, it looks like that's definitely hurting some things. So
terrible call on Clay Matthews late in that game. That was a terrible call.
Oh, roughing the passer call.
Roughing the pass. I'm sorry. Terrible.
Yeah, I think it's time. It's probably past time. I'm bringing it up now, but it's probably past time to acknowledge this. But they putting Russell Wilson in that category. Tom Brady, Drew Brees,
Oh
and
yes,
you can't really touch on them, blow on them, look at them too hard, or the yellow hanky is coming out.
absolutely. They, national media loves him, and he's a player. I ain't saying he's not, but yeah, that was a terrible call, but they got it done, and he said everything right. And what does he end it with? Go Hawks!
All the time, right? All the time. So scripted, so scripted.
Yes, sir.
But all right. So Seattle goes to 4-1. The Rams go to 4-1 as well. Seattle's 4-1. They both 4-1, right? No,
Yeah, I was 1-1.
the Rams are 3-2. Excuse me.
3-2. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Gardner Minshew and the Jags came to your boys, Carolina Panthers. Took a L though. Cannot contain, and I don't know how you can't contain Christian McCaffrey when everybody in the world knows that the ball is coming to him.
It's coming.
Bare minimum 60% of the time, right? But I mean, he went crazy. How many? What kind of yardage he had in this game?
200. I think it's right at 200. Maybe 180, somewhere around there. But he had 4 touchdowns in the game. 3 or 4. I'm not. This is one of those games where I still play fantasy, right? So
Okay.
he's my guy, Christian McCaffrey. He's on my personal team, but I'm playing against him. So he's whooping my ass in fantasy. And I'm happy about it. I was like, if I lose, I lose because this is my team and we're winning 3 straight games. But
right.
One thing I came away with this game, really the last couple of games I've been coming away with, the Cam Newton slander. Everybody's burying him saying, well, Kyle Allen ain't lost. He hasn't lost. He ain't had to win no games, though, people. If you're looking at these games, Christian McCaffrey is getting the ball 60% of the time. These are rushing plays, and say what you want about Cam. He had no problem handing the ball off. So now we're winning, and I do believe Cam's going to get his job back because, Greg Olsen ain't caught a ball in 2 weeks. Now, I don't even think I think he's been targeted, but he has not caught a ball in 2 weeks. Samuel,
DJ Moore.
It's just moving like that,
Yeah, like I said, Christian McCaffrey is being a workhorse right now, and then you got the defense doing what it's doing, and all of that mixed together is where the wins come coming from.
Right.
We like to give quarterbacks these 1-loss records when they don't play both sides of the ball. It's always baffling to me.
But they always give everything to quarterbacks. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. But he is not. He had a good first game. I guess was that the Chargers? I think y'all played
first game Arizona. Everybody balls against Arizona. Everybody.
Right. And it's been at least statistically, it's been a little down. Decline every game since then. I actually was on before we started recording tonight. I was on Twitter and it was it's an account, Panthers Film Room. I don't know if it's an official account or somebody kind of independent like us and just put the tape out there. They had a pretty good thread. Go check it out. I retweeted it so I can follow the thread. But it broke down probably 8 to 12 passing plays and kind of broke down what Kyle Allen did wrong as far as the reads he was looking at, where he probably should have went with the ball, where he forced the ball, things like that. Yeah. So at some point when a team stops the run game, you got to be able to at least be average, a little bit above average on the passing side. That's why I don't think a healthy Cam Newton, it's just no question. He'll be right back up under center when he ready to go.
What's fascinating about what's happening with McCaffrey is Tampa showed everybody what you should do. Tampa put everybody on the line week 2. Everybody. You're going to force the quarterback to beat you. Nobody's doing that. I'm taking McCaffrey away if I'm a defense. If that's me, I'm going to force Kyle Allen to throw the ball. But let's talk about the other team in this situation too. Uncle Rico almost pulled it off for the Jags. They were moving down the field. But Leonard Fournette seems to be back to, LSU Leonard, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
The Chark kid is good. I like him.
DJ Chark, yeah.
Yeah, I like
solid him. Receiver, yeah.
They seem like they're on their way. Foles gets this job back.
I mean, to me, it's the same situation. As long as like Gardner Minshew, Kyle Allen, um, they just I can't say that in the case of the Jags, but I say they just trying to hold it together, make sure the wheels don't fall off. But the Jags ain't really winning while Gardner is there. But yeah, I think they paid Foles the money. I don't see Gardner Minshew lighting it up to the point where you be like, yeah, Nick Foles, sit down. I don't
wonder
see
if they're
that.
gonna go with now. Yeah, and they paid him, so yeah, they got to give him a look. So I don't think he comes back to damn near week 11 or 12, and it's not like they're gonna win all these games. So,
Right, and with that in mind, it might not. Do you even bring him back? Period. Depending on where you are record wise and how late in the season it is. So,
But all them first round picks, all that talent on that Jacksonville defense, it just seems like it's just been a steady decline. Now we know Jalen ain't playing, but I mean, they used to be a good, solid defense. Used to stop the run. McCaffrey had them dudes out there looking crazy. It's just. I'm turning the light off, man. That defense ain't never coming home.
It's Jacksonville. Next up, the Cardinals. Kyler, is it Kyle? No, Kyler, right? Kyler. Right? Yeah. I should learn this boy's name. Kyler Murray got his first win, leading the Cardinals to a 26-23 win against who? The Cincinnati Bengals. Everybody get beaten up on the Bengals, man. They're trash.
Yeah.
Just to put it nicely.
Yeah.
I didn't really see any of this game, so I don't know how the Cardinals really went about winning. I just know that they finally got a W, and again, it's the same story in Cincinnati, another L.
Yeah, that's it. I don't have nothing on that.
All right, next up, we can spend a little bit of their time on this next game. The the Houston Texans beat down the Falcons 53-32.
That shit was over first quarter, dog.
We did the preview on this game last week, and we both agreed that if the Falcons cannot generate pressure, defensive pressure against this Houston Texans team, where Deshaun Watson has been sacked or had been sacked 18 times in the first 3 games, I believe, hit 32 or 33 times, that if the Falcons couldn't generate pressure here, then they were never going to generate pressure against anybody. I don't think they blew on Deshaun Watson this whole game.
They didn't touch him. They did not touch him. Man, I've been waiting to hear Vic Beasley's name this year. I haven't heard it.
You just heard it.
Yeah, when we bring it up. Shout out to Vic, man, for getting that last year of that rookie money. Well, I think they're paying him like 14 this year. You ain't gonna see that bread. Yeah, you ain't gonna see that bread again. But shout out to him on that. But man, this shit is a dumpster fire, and it's the same thing. Teams jump on them early, and then they fight in their way back. You can't run the ball because you got to pass because you're so damn far behind.
I mean, the line isn't good. Matt Ryan is looking like pre-MVP, pre-Kyle Shanahan type Matt Ryan, where he was throwing all the picks, unsure of himself, just fucking up all the way around.
Nervous. And
Julio Jones is not being given the ball. No. It's how you bracket. They playing double. They doubling them up, so they bracketing them a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I don't see no scheming coming from Dirk Cutter in the offense to get him the balls, like quick screens or quick passes. Moving them around. You got him running 15-yard digs and all these deep routes. He pretty much running right into the double coverage because you got a man up underneath for the man over the top. So I don't get that.
One of the homies on our personal chat said it on Sunday. He said he got Julio running 40 yards down the field. Matt can't throw the ball that far down the field.
It's unbelievable. And then on the defensive side of the ball, again, it's how many weeks in a row? Dan Quinn is homeboy. I hope you featuring this shit now because your job is in jeopardy, buddy.
Well, shit. Why would he? Look at what the owner said right after the game. I don't think a change is needed. I have faith that these guys can turn it around. Y'all 1-4, big dog.
Oh, well, I think you got to say that. I think that's the right thing to say if you're an owner. you know,
We're reviewing everything.
well, you know, if you say something like that, then that actually adds more fuel to the fire.
I kind of would have did it that way because shit, he need to feel it. You hear that shit, you're like, okay, I'm good. You know.
I wouldn't take it as good, but he could. But you know, Arthur Blank don't roll like that. Nice. So the same reason that we know he's not going to get fired mid-season, or the same reason that that Arthur Blank ain't gonna come out and say that kind of thing in the media. He gonna say what he can out front of the cameras to kind of make it seem like he giving them some hope. But behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure it's a different story. But
they don't fire people mid-season. I'm trying to think when they fired Mike Smith. Was that late?
Yeah, I mean they'll wait to the last game or two maybe. But they don't really. So yeah, Petrino quit. But they don't really. That's not really their MO to get people, especially this early. Yeah. So you know, with a coach,
their schedule to see. I mean, they should win Sunday.
The schedule finna get real. They got Arizona, then they've got I can't think of who they got before they got New Orleans. I think coming off of a bye.
Oh shit! Let me get down to it. All right. They got Arizona. They got the Rams next. Then they got Seattle. Then they got the Saints. Then they got us. Then they got Tampa. Then they got this. Yeah, this shit could go the wrong way.
Oh, it ain't no could. It's already started to go the wrong way. It's just a matter of.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that game. Yeah, that game real late. So, if depending on how stuff be to went, they might not even really not give a damn by the time we play them in right before Christmas. But they got to win this week against Arizona. If they got any hope, I think the playoffs or whatever percentage you want to put on it, I'm gonna put no percent.
Dog, they got to win Sunday. They got to win Sunday.
Yeah, you got to because of those games you just ran off. If they've been playing like they've been playing up until this point, I don't see many wins coming.
It'll probably be a shootout because neither one of their defenses is worth a damn. So it'll be a whole lot of points scored. Julio will probably get off. But they got to establish a run game. Got to protect Matt a little better. Matt, you want to hold on to the ball as well. Shit just don't look good. It really don't. So it's like they can't really reload it because they got all these dudes they done paid. So they're stuck in a sense. I
mean, it's time for everybody to go. Dan Quinn got to go. I think Thomas Dimitroff got to go. Yeah. I know I put it out there on our chat today, but let's talk about real quick because it's so stupid to me. This trade. Well, actually, I can't. I know I'll take that back because I didn't know that Jonathan Cyprin, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, they had just traded for him
like last
week.
Yeah.
And he's on IR now. I didn't think he played in the game Sunday. I'm thinking he was hurt coming from wherever the fuck he came from. I can't remember where they traded him from. From Philly. No. Yeah. Okay. And then he just wasn't healthy. And then they had to cut him. Like you didn't evaluate and make sure he was straight first. But he played Sunday, so I'm not sure what happened.
Now, I didn't see him get hurt, though. That's when I think I said that on the chat. I was like, well, did he get hurt Sunday? Because I don't recall anybody getting hurt.
Yeah, I don't either.
Hurt, so.
Well, yeah, and they said he came out of the game uninjured. So what the hell happened between then and now? He played about 25 snaps on defense, 3 on special teams. I looked up. So he played, nice little amount, about a third of the snaps probably in that game. So I don't understand how he would end up on IR. But the funny shit is that then after that happened, the Falcons went and signed DJ White, I think is his name, a corner off of Philly practice squad.
And that's so damn stupid.
Now, Philly been having secondary issues all year as far as not playing well, injuries, whatever you want to have it. Call it. If they had somebody serviceable on their practice squad, I think they probably would have signed him.
They would have moved him up. That made so much sense when you said that earlier. Because I was like, who the hell is this dude? But, yeah. Maybe they miss Robert Alford. They let him go. I mean, he was good for a penalty. He was gonna try, but yeah, they got to figure it out.
Just a lot going wrong in Atlanta. Next up, speaking of their division foes, 2 of them, the Saints win 31-24 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Teddy Bridgewater holding it in the road.
Yes, he
Um,
is.
and more so than Kyle Allen and Gardner Minshew, he's more of a reason why they actually winning.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy for Teddy, man, so he can go out there and showcase and do his thing.
I'm gonna ask you a crazy question.
What, is Michael Thomas still open?
Well, yeah, he's always open, but healthy. Both of them healthy. How much better is Dak than Teddy Bridgewater?
Oh, yeah, I mean, not by like a whole lot, but they're right there.
Shit.
They're right there in the same class. I think Dak got a stronger arm.
Teddy's not even 30 yet, is he?
I don't know. Give or take, he might be
26, 27. He got drafted with Manziel. They was in the same draft. But Teddy's making himself money. He's gonna be solid for them. Here's another one too. Right now, who would you say? Green Bay or New Orleans? Which one would you say is the best team in the NFC right now? And I'm saying them two because I think they are the best. Well, I don't know. I got to put Seattle in there as well.
I don't put Seattle.
Oh shit! Well, y'all right there too.
I'm not. I haven't seen enough from us or Seattle to be in that top tier conversation. I'm just being honest. I think Seattle is kind of getting the benefit of the doubt because Russell Wilson and the media love him. And he earned a lot of it. Don't get me wrong, but I still look at them and wonder what's really going to go down throughout the course of the season. But I forgot the players you asked me about.
Saints and Green Bay.
Oh, Saints and Green Bay.
Best team.
Right now I'll take the Saints. I like their defense a little bit better.
Yeah, I kind of feel that. Because if they're doing this with a backup, wait till they get Drew back.
Right.
They don't won every game since he got hurt. We were sitting there thinking, man, they go 500. They good. 3-0 so far.
Exactly. So I would say the Saints right now. And I want to say off the top of my head, I think they probably played a little bit better competition than.
Yeah.
Well, no, the Green Bay didn't play the Bears, and Bears defense. And
the last three have been without Drew. They went to Seattle. They beat Dallas. This Tampa team was actually playing good football at the time. So, those are solid games.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely take the Saints. I saw maybe I don't know if Green Bay's defense is maybe as strong as we thought it was after the first game or two. Everybody's kind of going crazy over them. I think they're kind of settling in now. They're not bad by any means. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're above average defense, but not like in this Bears class.
Above average. Yeah. But them first three games, they were playing. The quarterback play wasn't strong. They were playing against.
Right.
Right. So now they're starting to see people who can push it down the field and actually can throw. So they're kind of getting exposed a little bit. That pass rush ain't moving exactly like it was, and dudes keep getting hurt. But it's better than what they've had the last probably 5 years. So.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Let me see where we go. Oh, all right. So Kirk Cousins, after he went on his radio show or somebody else's podcast and kissed Alan Thielen's ass last week. And
bro, I didn't know that Thielen was sitting right next to him.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until later on. Stephon Diggs had his little trade rumors last week. I didn't say it, but my agent may have. That went on last week.
Funny, man.
And we knew that they were going in to play the Giants, and we figured, hey, this is a get-right game for them. Kind of like the Falcons. If you can't do it in this week's game, when are you going to do it? Well, Minnesota answered the call, 28-10 over the Giants. Now, albeit this is a Giants team without Saquon Barkley. We know Odell Beckham don't play there no more. So, probably limited bullets in the gun, so to speak. But that's part of the grind of the NFL. Win the games you're supposed to win, and kind of go from there. So the Vikings are back on track for this week. Now, how long this shit lasts? What you think?
That's my concern. How long are they going to continue to do this? Mike Zimmer's been all about we won't run the ball. They were trying to throw it a whole lot more to keep these receivers happy, and you have to do that. You paid these cats. You can't just have them out there as decoys. I do believe they're going to trade Diggs at some point. I do believe they will. because the offense ain't gonna support two cats getting. Well, they got balls last year. Both of them did have solid games, but I don't think that's the way Zimmer wants to play. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the key to me in this situation is Kirk Cousins. I think the receivers will be fine, and they done both got their money. There's plenty. We know that they can both get balls.
Yeah.
So it's Kirk Cousins to get to it to him. Now,
Right.
I think this is a pretty good game as far as balance. Just looking at the numbers, I mean, he only threw it 27 times, completed 22 of them for 306, 2 touches, and then they were still able to run the ball. Cook still had 21 carries, 132 yards. So
that's what they need.
that ideally is what they need to do. When you start getting Kirk Cousins throwing 40, 50 times a game, that's not it. 25 times or so is the wheelhouse. But that will involve them staying ahead, and not getting behind in games. So that kind of makes a difference too. So,
it's fascinating too with them is that his deal was only 3 years. So, I mean, next year is the last year of that deal. So they either gonna re-up or go another way. But the way that team is built, you can't necessarily not keep them, can you?
I mean, a lot can happen in NFL in 2 years. I mean, just a scenario right off the top of my head. Let's say this year don't go so good, they go 8-8 or worse and don't make the playoffs. All the quarterbacks that's supposed to be coming up in this draft next year, I can see them taking one as a rookie, not to come in and start right away, but as in to tell Kirk Cousins, hey, this is the last year of your contract. We got young blood right here warming his arm up.
Yep.
It's short for right now for this
play,
year.
Honestly.
And I think that's what they should, I think that's what they should do. One thing I did see out of Kirk Cousins that I liked this game that I hadn't seen so far this year, he was actually looking a little bit more confident in his throws. He was decisive and he went to certain spots without, kind of being gun shy. So,
hey, man, that's a lot of pressure when like most of the time when y'all lose, it's your fault.
Hey, you already know it. You already know.
Imagine what the talk radio was like up there in Minnesota. They was probably on his ass every day.
Maybe, but I don't know how harsh the Minnesota media is. You know what I'm saying? It definitely ain't the New York Post or the LA Times, the Dallas Star, whatever other newspaper you want to put out there that's tough on the sports teams in the city. But I don't think Minnesota is probably one of them, right? The Giants. I mean, I don't really know what to say about the Giants. They played short week this week. They play the Patriots. And I don't know who's going to be they receiving options because Evan Ingram will be out with an MCL sprain. Sterling Shepard, has another concussion, his second in 3 weeks.
Good Lord.
So they probably gonna hold him out.
Saquon
probably a month.
People, but y'all better not let him go out there.
I thought because the way he looked in practice last week, I thought he might have a good chance to play this past Sunday. And when he didn't play, I thought, well, maybe they holding him for the Thursday game since it'll be a short week. You don't want to bring him back on a Sunday and then have him turn around and play 3 days later or 4 days later on a Thursday. So I thought maybe that was why they were holding him out Sunday. But he's not playing this week either. So I don't know when they
play next week. That makes sense.
Because now coming off of this Thursday again, now you got a kind of a mini bye.
Right.
10, 11 days. And now after that, he should be back.
He should be back playing. But, why would you run him out there to run up against that wall called the New England defense when you ain't going to have nobody on the outside? So I think nobody.
I think that plays a big part as well. Let they record be on the winning side of things right now, and all those receiving weapons weren't out. I could see Saquon being in this game Thursday.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get it moving here. We got the Chicago Bears losing to the Oakland Raiders over across the pond in London. Raiders came out smoking in this game. I was like, okay, Chicago just decided that they was going to go see the all the sights and everything in London, and they just, the game is what it is, whatever. They kind of woke up second half and got back in it, but still came up short.
Yeah. This felt like an upset. it's crazy to say they don't have their starting quarterback, but Chicago's defense is supposed to be world class. They
Right.
were running at them. Josh Jacobs, the rookie, was running at this team. Khalil Mack did not have a sack, didn't have much of an impact on this game. Maybe the Raiders are a lot better than I thought they were. That's 2 straight wins over quality teams, at least a quality defense. And the Colts, they went up there and beat them at home last week. So
Right.
maybe the Raiders are better than we thought they were.
I think they looking like a decent, formidable team.
Yeah.
They look better. They look better than the Falcons.
Yeah.
You know, so I think Chicago's defense turned it on second half of this game, which is because the Raiders had 21 points the first half, 20 maybe. So, you know, the defense came to play the second half so the offense can get back in it, but ultimately they gave up a drive late after actually taking the lead.
Yeah.
So,
and now they about to really be straight because they added that boy Zay. They about to be right now.
Sorry. Oakland traded for Zay Jones from Buffalo, so we'll see how that go. I didn't realize that Zay Jones, his snaps and everything had went down these last couple of weeks in Buffalo. So, there we go with that. Moving on, not much time probably need to be spent here either. But the Philadelphia Eagles winning 31-6, doing what they're supposed to do against an undermanned Jets team.
One question I got about this before we move on. If Sam Darnold was not medically cleared to play, why was he getting all the first string snaps during practice this week when you knew you had to throw the third string dude out there to play the Eagles defense? That just don't make no sense, do it?
Yeah, I mean, I can see him getting some snaps.
I said he got all of them this week.
Yeah, I'm thinking it should have been probably half.
Right.
Maybe half and half. Because, I mean, I understand you weren't going to test him until the very last minute to see if he was clean or, the spleen wasn't enlarged or whatever. But in the case that it was still enlarged, you needed to play the backup. So you might want to get him some snaps. But
yeah, that's all I got, though. That didn't make no sense to me.
Hey, man, Jets gonna jet, man. Jets gonna jet. That's your boy, Adam Gase.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens win 26-23 over a Pittsburgh team that had to play most of this game with yet another quarterback. Mason Rudolph got knocked the fuck out. Was that second quarter?
Yeah, he got knocked clean out because, I mean, that was one of them shots you saw he was out before he hit the ground.
Absolutely. After that happened, I just knew that the Ravens should win this game pretty handily and nicely. And it didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
This defense on the Ravens ain't what I thought it was.
Nope. You got to think they lost some players too. You know, some starters left them last year. One of them up there in Green Bay. Suggs is gone.
Mosley
gone.
C.J. Mosley.
C.J. Mosley's gone. You know, you lost some players. So it's not what it was. Jimmy Smith's hurt again, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Tony Jefferson broke his leg in this game.
Tony Jefferson, he's out for the year, I want to say. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's on IR. So, it's not the same for them. And I had this wrong on here. I put the last 2 losses. But this was the third game. They won this game. Lamar was actually 1-2 over the last couple. But his passing and everything has started to go the other way. They're starting to run more. But, Tape is undefeated. You know, you may catch people slipping them first couple weeks. But when they start having time to look, I still don't necessarily like the weapons they got on the outside. Hollywood's okay, but he's a one-trick pony.
And he went out of this game hurt.
Yeah, the tight end is Gimpy. He was in and out. So, but they won. They got a gift because that I want to say it was a terrible pass. It was a terrible call on Pittsburgh late on a kick or something that allowed the Ravens to get the ball back. Something to that effect. But it's going to be a long year in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a long year.
Yeah. It really is. I had to kind of tell Mrs. Diego Sunday, just kind of settle in, kind of get her mind right.
And what's that team? Pittsburgh, Miami. They're just like, yes, Yes, keep losing.
Because they got their pick.
Because they got their pick. So Miami might mess around and have 2 in the top 10. If this continues to trend the way it is, they could have 1 and 5.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because NFL, it ain't no ping pong balls.
Nope.
It lines right up with the worst records.
Yep. And I want to say they got a first this year from Houston, but Houston that'll be a low first because they're solid.
Yeah, I want to say they got 3. I think they got 3 first.
Yeah, this year.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
picks are cool. You just got to make the right ones. But yeah, Baltimore got this done. Gonna be a long year in Pittsburgh. We're gonna talk about Cleveland a little bit, but the AFC North, man, that's ugly.
I don't know about this division anymore. We know the Bengals are not going to win it. We know the Steelers aren't going to win it. The other two
the
teams.
only thing we know about this division, what you just said, the Bengals ain't going to win it. That's all we know for a fact right now. I kind of want to say Pittsburgh ain't going to win it.
No, that's what I say. I threw Pittsburgh in there with the Bengals. We know those two teams aren't winning. The other two teams, Baltimore and Cleveland, somebody going to win the division at 8-8, 9-7 best, from what it's looking like right now.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Crazy.
All right, next up, another blah game. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen came back, didn't miss no time after his concussion last week. Back on the winning track. They are now 4-1, winning 14-7 over the Titans. Again, here we go, the Titans with this bullshit. We don't know.
Can't blame them completely, cuz. Can't blame them completely. That kicker missed 3 goddamn kicks on him. They cut him. Soon as the game was over, they cut him. That's their only job.
Actually, I don't think it was 4 kicks, but
it was 4. Okay.
Yeah.
That's their only job. So if you miss 4 kicks, that's 12 points.
Yeah.
That's 12. And it wasn't like these were 50-yard kicks from what I gather. This is like 30, 40-yard kicks. One of them.
They was very makeable. In NFL these days, 50 yards used to be like, ooh, I don't know. You should be able to make a 50-yard and end kick pretty easily if you're an NFL kicker these days.
That's your job. You're right about that. But yes, it's just like you said, though. We're right back to the Titans are going to beat a team they ain't got no business beating. But then turn around and be home. Buffalo was limited. Now, the defense only gave up 14 points. They only gave up 14, but, dog, you got to put more on the board. You got to put more on the board.
It's the offense. So we talk about the kicker missing 4 field goals that weren't very long field goals. That means the offense is moving the ball in between the 20s, but something is happening when they getting in the red zone where they ain't converting into touchdowns. So they got to look at that and get that cleaned up because they got a chance to win this division.
They sure do.
So
they sure do. Hell, I don't know who the best team in that division. Well, I don't think it's Jacksonville.
It's a Houston or we'll get to them in a second, or the Colts. And the Colts just took down top dog.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We ain't got much on this next game.
New England Patriots 33, Washington Redskins 7. Big news coming out of this game. Jay Gruden, 5 a.m. gets a call yesterday morning to come into the office.
God, I'd have been drove.
I wouldn't have showed up. You know what that call is.
You already know what it is. You already know what it is.
I'm like, nah, man. I'll be in there about 10.
I'd be like, y'all can hit. We can Skype.
Right.
From the bed. I ain't even getting up. Just yell.
You be laying in the bed, kind of watching TV, and you be in this pose right here with the up. I'll answer just like that. What's
just
up?
Like that. Just like that. But yeah, that's all I got. We keep hearing. I guess the disconnect really was real in regards to Gruden didn't want to draft Haskins, and ownership did. So, yeah, you can't have that, people. You can't have the disconnect between ownership and the coaching staff. It doesn't really. Y'all got to be on the same page. So.
Yeah, very true. And, it helps to have a stable front office and the kind of ownership that kind of stays the fuck out of the way.
Right.
But you don't have that in Washington.
Nope.
You don't – other than the Jimmy Garoppolo thing, you don't hear this kind of shit out of New England where Robert Kraft has to get involved in anything, Nope. Now, we may never know what happened with that situation, but the rumor is that Brady had to go to Kraft to get Garoppolo up out the building because Belichick wanted to keep him. But you don't hear these type of things from organizations like that. You hear them out of places like Washington.
Or that team down in Dallas, where their owner does a TV show every week.
Exactly. The Cowboys. You know, well, I won't say the Giants because Mar,
You don't hit him.
yeah, you hear his name a lot, but you don't really hear
Yeah.
his voice. Yeah, so
Right.
yeah, but long and short, that's more or less what I'm alluding to. Washington is it's Washington, man. You probably did Jay Gruden a favor.
Yeah, probably did. Hey, John got to hire his brother, right?
Absolutely, man. He should be on payroll as a quality control coach or something
Right.
here in the next couple weeks.
Right.
You know, ain't no non-compete clause in the NFL or nothing like that. He gonna get a job immediately.
Say no more. The plane, the ticket's ready. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Denver Broncos went into the Chargers and won 20-13. I had a small little 5% chance feeling that this could be a game that Denver could get because the Chargers ain't been playing well.
They haven't.
And Denver has played some decent ball in a couple of these games, just some kicks and things at the very end didn't work out in their favor.
Yeah.
So record-wise, you couldn't tell, that they have been playing okay in some spots. I ain't going to give them too much praise because they don't deserve all that, but they finally got a W. 20-13 over the Chargers. The defense showed up this week. I didn't see
them throwing the ball to the other team a lot.
Yeah, I didn't see any of this game. It was only 2 4:00 games Sunday. I chose to, of course, focus in and watch the Dallas Green Bay game, so I didn't really see any of this game. How did Melvin Gordon do? I know he was back.
He had about 15 touches, but he's not. It's gonna take time. I felt like they should have kept the ball in Eckler's hands a little bit more. He's fresh. Eckler was balling, people. Before Gordon came back, I mean, he had about 16 receptions in that game, but hell, Denver was playing back so much toward the end. It was like, sure, dump it down to him. We'll just tackle him. Right. But, it's typical. You get that one stinker from Phillip Rivers a year. So wasn't surprised. This could be a rallying cry for them, though, because like you said, Denver was in a whole lot of these games earlier this year. They just got screwed. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. Let's go to the big one.
All right. Cheeseheads, 34, Dallas 24. By far the best game I think Green Bay has played this year.
Yeah.
And they did it without Devontae Adams. A lot of talk during the week, what the offense going to look like because Devontae Adams ain't there. I didn't have, high hopes myself. I ain't going to lie. The Packers hadn't been running the ball. Well, they ran the hell out of the ball this game, and they didn't need Devontae Adams.
I'm all the way confused because aren't Dallas the Wolf Hunter and Jalen Smith? Aren't they supposed to be like run stoppers? They're fast linebackers.
Yeah.
Where were they at Sunday?
Chasing.
Green Bay couldn't attempt to run the ball on Philly, or pretty much nobody this year. Aaron Jones came in there and kicked their ass and taunted them the whole way. You see these scores, you're like, man, it was only a 10-point game. It really wasn't that close.
Nah. Dallas got it going a little bit second half, but first half really told us the story with this game. Dallas didn't play good all around. Dak had his worst game by far. What he threw? 3, 4 interceptions?
It should have been 4, but one of them got called back because of a penalty, but it should have been 4. And these were not like, well, one of them was that tip, but hell, that ball was behind Amari. He tried to reach back to get it, popped in the air, and he picked it off.
Yeah. I felt he should have caught it. It was behind him, but I felt he should have caught it.
Yeah, he got his hands on it. Hell, the gloves do about 60% of it at this point nowadays. I'm sure they were sticky. But, these were bad picks. And it kept happening. Every time they tried to get something going, here go Dak throwing the ball to the other team. And if you get behind the way they have been, the run game is gone. You can't run Zeke.
Right.
I don't know what the agenda is. Is Kellen Moore trying to make the team Dak's team? That's not what works for y'all. You got to set up the play action by running Zeke. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, you got that could come into play because you got a young offensive coordinator, his first time. He could be trying to, especially with Redhead in the head coaching seat. So, he could be trying to show that he can run this show if need be.
Yeah.
trying to make a name for himself as a play caller and things like that. But like we sit here last week and you asked me who I think the question was something around who could probably put up points against New England, I think is what we talked about. And I said out of the NFC teams right now, give me Dallas because they balanced between running and passing what they have been doing. Well, of course, the big if and the caveat with that is if Dak is going to play like Dak had played them first couple of weeks.
Right.
This Dak right here, of course, that can't happen because now if you can't run the ball, Dak is pretty much done. If he has to bring you back from a game in a shootout or something like that, you could forget it.
The reads were terrible, though. It's like, what was he seeing?
He was seeing only things that Dakota could see.
Michael Gallup had, a solid game numbers-wise at least. Amari did what he does. Jason Witten's out there. But you got to read, man.
Yeah.
You got to do this. The last two games have not been good. They have not.
Yeah, and the thing about those last two games is they've come against competition that if you want to get to where you're trying to get to, it's going to be two teams that you're going to have to see again and go through. That's in New Orleans and the Packers. So Dallas definitely want to tighten up. They got a couple of games left here before they go into their bye. They got the Jets this week. That should be a bye pretty much in itself. Well, Sam Darnold will be back this week. So now if he come out there and light their ass up.
What's up?
I say if Sam Darnold come out there off a mono, and light their ass up, and Dak have another bullshit game.
That'll be it. All that's happening is the price of the brick is going down.
That brick for Dak, the cost is, we talking about his money, people, because the contract still ain't signed.
Nope.
That shit been going up and down like Bitcoin.
Yes, it has. and don't be saying like it's probably going to be, okay, we're going to pay Amari. We're cool with letting you do that tag next year. We need to see another year. We're good with it.
Well, see, this is the thing, and I meant to look this up today. You may know it off the top of your head. Sometimes you know things about the contracts I don't. Is there a deadline as to when a cutoff period for them to negotiate contracts for next year, or can they go just all the way through free agency? I think it has to be a cutoff point at some time, right?
They got a point to where they have to place the tag. I want to say it's somewhere around the middle of March, but they can negotiate up until then.
Okay.
They can. And, they can always rescind that tag and, do a new deal. That's what happened with Josh Norman. So,
well, I bring it up to say this. Let's just say even if it's not a deadline within the season.
Yeah.
If you let the season play out and you haven't extended either one of them, you got a choice to make.
That's true.
Because you can't tag but one of them.
That's true.
And you probably, unless Dak just really stinks all to be damned for the rest of the year, you're not going to tag Amari and then hope you can still sign Dak.
See, but it's easier, though. I think the decision's already – if we're looking at it that way, and that's a good point. I ain't think about it with the both of them. Amari's numbers are already set. They're set. Receiver money is already what it is. You know what you got to pay him. Probably going to have to give him 60 – what Julio got was 65? You probably going to have to do somewhere between 65 to 70. Receiver money is what it is. I'm putting the tag on Dak before I sit there and put it on a wide receiver.
I don't really care. I'm not really, I guess, talking about the money part of it. I'm talking about the fact that if you let them, whichever one you decide not to tag, and they're a free agent.
I think you're going to keep both of them, though. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to let them walk.
You don't have once you get to free agency, you as an owner, you don't have the choice no more.
No,
I can go talk to 10 other teams.
Yeah, but I don't believe Amari would leave. That's my point. I don't believe he would.
Okay, well, he may not, but I'm just saying Dak, if Dak going to be like this,
yeah,
he played with Derek Carr, who was like this. He got out of that situation. We don't know what it could be. Some situations come down the line here. I mean, you never know.
You're right. That is unpredictable.
He could see something else attractive. Somebody might show up on his door at 12:01.
That's very true.
Briefcase and their name ain't Jerry or Steven. That's the gamble I think the Cowboys are doing by putting themselves in this situation by not getting one of them done before the season started.
That's true. So if anything, they need to be trying to cash one of them out before the end of the regular season.
We keep right now, Dak, get it done.
Yeah.
And
Dak should take 34 and be happy. Real happy.
That 140.
Yeah. Shout out to Green Bay. We've been talking about Dakota the whole time. If Green Bay can win games like this with Aaron Rodgers having to do minimal, because they still have not gotten – they had that one big game with the passing yards last game, but, they're winning with running the ball and playing defense, creating turnovers. I'm interested to see where this goes the rest of this year with them. I'm really interested to see how they end up turning out. But
yeah, the game plan offensively in this one looked like it was probably more LaFleur.
Yes.
Getting to do what he is ultimately wanting to do.
Yes.
Aaron just got to and it's it's probably hard for a cat like that, but he just kind of not necessarily play a backseat, so to speak, but let the coach do what he do. At least try to show some support and trust in the system, because everybody else is looking at you. And if if you're doing that thing you was doing with Mike McCarthy, then what you think the other players are going to do,
right?
When they see you doing it. So, good win for Green Bay. Great win. That.
Good win. All right, this was the surprise of the week: the Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, coming into this game, I figured, okay, the Colts need to at least you're gonna have to put up 30. And hope that you can keep them down to 28.
Right.
No, it didn't work out that way. The Colts beat the Chiefs 19-13 in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
In Arrowhead.
Imagine holding the Chiefs to one touchdown.
That's crazy. Hey, man, we talked about it last year about the Colts having a solid young defense, but here's the catch, people. Darius Leonard didn't play. Malik Hooker didn't play. Another starter didn't play as well. These are their stars on defense. And they sat there and shut down this vaunted Chiefs offense. Patrick Mahomes, the MVP. They shut him down.
Now I'll say this. We know the Chiefs don't really run the ball well.
No, they don't.
So, of course, they didn't do that. No Tyreek Hill. Sammy Watkins went out of this game very early.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce was out there, but I don't think he really did too much, I don't think.
He's the cat you had to double. The rest of them,
right? So I can see a disciplined defense like the Colts being able to hold them without those weapons being there. However, I don't have too much on this game because this was a Sunday night game, and you know what that means for Diego. I didn't see shit past the second quarter.
I watched a good bit of it. It's the same recipe, people. If you got a high-powered offense, the best way to beat that offense is have their asses on the sideline watching the game. You run the ball.
Yep.
Kansas City had the ball. I'm sorry, the Colts had the ball 37 minutes. 37 minutes time of possession.
Out of 60.
If Mahomes is over there cooling, watching the game, he got hurt too. One of his offensive linemen stepped on his ankle, and that was a big cat. So, but he stayed in the game. I'm interested to see what happens going forward. Like you said, you get Tyreek Hill back, you get Sammy Watkins back, but they got to be able to run the ball. This team has not looked the same since Kareem Hunt's video leak, and he got cut. They have not looked the same.
They'll be fine. They got the Texans this week, followed by a Thursday game in Denver. They very well could. So we'll see how they come out of that game.
I'm not worried about them. I think they're gonna be fine. But tape is undefeated. At the end of the day, tape is undefeated. You give these teams time to figure stuff out, they're gonna try to find a way. And in a lot of cases, they do. So shout out to the Colts for getting that done. That was a solid Monday night game.
Yeah, I'll get concerned when they start losing with all they bullets in the gun.
The defense still ain't shit.
No, it's not gonna be.
I mean, they paid Honey Badger. Now, he had a pretty easy interception on Sunday. Yeah. Frank Clark has done much of nothing.
The defense.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Stopping the run, that's effort. Pass defense, but stop. If somebody's coming straight at you, they just don't even attempt to stop the run. But,
somebody like the Colts, Colts got a good offensive line. So
they were physical with them. But let's finish this game off.
Very much so.
Let's talk about that ass whooping that took place last night. Right before the tip off of the game, I text you. I said, Nick Chubb gonna bust your ass. OBJ is gonna be all over y'all. None of that shit happened.
Nah, not even close.
The Cleveland Browns got drugged, people. The 49ers beat them 31-3. It was over early. Like early.
Yeah, the only thing I'm disappointed in is we should have scored 40 at least on these boys. We left a lot of points out there, and that's some things we got to clean up. I'm a little concerned about this long snapper holder type situation. That shit was on some fuck shit last night. Robbie Gould missed 3 or 4 kicks because of it. But outside of that, man, the run game was what it was. I think we went for 275. Jimmy didn't have to do much in the passing game. He made some decent throws. He made a couple that were dropped that should have been caught. He made a few that were not so good. But all in all, I think we did good, man. But, the storyline here is that defensive line and that defense. We was on Baker's ass the whole time.
The whole time.
I don't go by QBR because I don't know what the fuck it means.
Yeah.
But I know it's supposed to be more than 1.4.
Man, that was his worst game ever. And you know what, people? When you call for the smoke repeatedly, you can't have these type of games. And you can't string them together and go into the press conference nonchalant like we're good. We know what we need to do. If you say that shit every Monday, if y'all know what y'all need to do, why in the fuck aren't y'all doing it? Why not? I mean, this shit has been terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, we had our questions about Freddie Kitchens. And it was a few questionable things he did last night. And they were brought to light in the telecast, but 99% of teams, if you win a coin toss, you defer because you want the ball second half. Because most times, that first drive to begin the game, that team don't score. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? You got to kind of get warmed up. Most teams end up punting the very first drive of the game.
Right.
So you want to have the ball the second half. He didn't do that. That came back to bite him because we scored at the end of the first half and then came out and scored at the beginning of the third quarter. And I didn't know that we had came out and scored a touchdown at the beginning of the third quarter in every game so far this season. So that was kind of surprising to me. But outside of that, there was late in the game, maybe mid third quarter, fourth quarter or so. He didn't go for it on the fourth down. Then when they needed points, he didn't go for it on the fourth down. He decided to punt it. But he challenged a clear catch by Dante Pettis on the sideline. Like, you weren't aggressive enough to go for it on fourth down to get a few yards, and you clearly need touchdowns to get back into the game. But you challenged he bobbled it at first, but it was a clear catch. Why are you challenging that when you didn't even have the balls to go for it on fourth down? So I think he got to figure this coaching thing out, man. He might be in over his head.
Yeah, he seems to be very much so in over his head. You got to be getting better quarterback play than what you've been getting from Baker Mayfield. 4 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 1,247 yards this year. And he just has not looked good. Now, he's been sacked 16 times in 5 games. That's no bueno. But, again, you can't call for the smoke repeatedly. And, y'all won the off-season, bravado and all that shit. But it's not duplicating wins. That ain't happening with it. You got OBJ out there. He done caught 4 balls over the last 2 weeks, under 50 yards in both games.
I mean, again, last night, you trying to get him the ball, that's one thing, but you got him lining up in the backfield multiple times. You got him throwing passes. Like, I just didn't get what they were doing. Then they did throw it to him a couple times, and he dropped it. And then he fumbles on the punt. Doing his best LaShawn McCoy impersonation.
Yeah, that was very reckless how he carried that ball. Odell to me is like that's like having a Ferrari and you work right across the street. They're not using it. You know what I'm saying? You get in the car and just drive right across the street. You're not using it. It's a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? But the defense, they tried, but it's some issues in Cleveland.
Yeah, their run defense is terrible. We know the secondary was banged up.
Did Denzel and them play last night? I saw I was watching. I was in and out.
No, Ward didn't play, and Greedy didn't play. Greedy didn't play. Neither one of them played. So not that we attacked them and threatened them really much in the passing game anyway, outside of Kittle, but no, they were not present at all. So I don't know what that team's going to do. They got a big game this week. I think they go to Seattle.
So if you look at their next 4 games, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. They go to Seattle.
I'm sorry, they got Seattle at home. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, they're at home in Seattle. Then they got New England. In New England, they go to Denver and they got Buffalo. If they can split those 4, get 2 of them, the next 4 games after that, you got Pittsburgh twice, Miami, and Cincinnati. You just got to get through this stretch, and you better sweep them last 4.
What 2 games? What 2 games they gonna win out of them 4?
Buffalo going on the road is possible. Coming to Cleveland and going to Denver is possible. I think they're gonna lose the next 2 straight.
Yeah, I mean they get New England coming out of their bye. Now they will need the bye to get prepared for New England. I don't care what New England got going on in they receiver room.
I think that defense is going to
the defense is what's going to keep Freddie Kitchens and Baker Mayfield up at night. Denver.
It's possible.
Right now, no, but yeah, those 2 in Buffalo, if they're going to win 2, I think of course it would be those 2.
Be those 2.
But I'm skeptical about them too.
Shit, they could lose all 4 of them in a row, and we still ain't heard the Odell really tell how he's feeling yet. It ain't happened. So I don't know. This shit wasn't supposed to be this bad. It wasn't.
Hey.
You guys for the smoke, y'all got it.
Oh yeah, they're definitely getting it. So we'll see how they rebound. Okay, that was the last game. That was the Monday game.
Yeah, that's the last game.
I think we had some other questions and concerns. Did we talk about? Okay, I know you had it on here. Is Green Bay the best team in the NFC, or is it another team? Because now
we talked about it. We said we both said New Orleans, so we're good with that. Not concerned about Lamar Jackson. It was going to be some growing pains. He hadn't looked necessarily great throwing the ball the last 2 weeks, but it was going to be some growing pains.
Yeah, we knew it probably wasn't what we seen the first 2 weeks, but we knew it was going to be better than what we saw last year.
Yeah.
So, settle down here, getting into week 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to start to see really what these players are going to be, who these teams are going to be. And then, we can kind of go and finish out the season that way. But I think Lamar and them will be fine. They got to stick to running the ball. Man, that defense got to buckle up them chin straps, man, and come to play.
Yeah. That's almost a rebuild in a sense. Houston, if you protect Deshaun Watson, y'all tend to win. Boy, he put it on Atlanta.
I was sitting there, y'all gonna let Will Fuller beat y'all single-handedly? Will Fuller?
They kept going to him.
And they probably played some kind of defense, to take away DeAndre Hopkins, I'm pretty sure. So that's, that leaves everybody else single coverage. Will Fuller, he took advantage of it. He was killing their ass. He was killing.
Ate them alive. But yeah, that's about all I got.
Speaking of the Falcons, if they lose to Arizona, is Dan Quinn the coach come Monday morning?
I wouldn't let his ass ride back on the team plane.
Yeah, that's how we get down.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Lane Kiffin style.
Yeah. I mean, they can't lose that game. They can't. If Kyler Murray little ass run all over them and beat them, oh man, that'll be tough.
I think it's going to be a close game. I've seen nothing from them defensively that gives me confidence that they can shut anybody down.
Hey, there's a positive to this whole situation, though. They keep losing these games. By the time Carolina get there, I'll be able to get a game for like $40.
I'm not even a Falcons second season ticket holder, and I got an email talking about prices drops first thing Monday morning.
Yep. I'm trying to get at somebody. I'm trying to go see my team for the low. So y'all keep on losing. Keep on.
All right, there it
That's
is.
That's a division game. They'll play hard against us. That's a division game.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, the fans talking that shit, but I don't think they're gonna really give up until to see what happens against y'all and against the Saints. And I don't think Arthur Blank is gonna make a move before those two things happen either.
Nah, that's not how that franchise is built. But you know what? It can be. It's if it goes left, it's gonna be a complete overhaul of the entire franchise. They're gonna bring somebody in to be in complete control, hire his own coach, and everything. So it's some jobs on the line there, for real, for real.
Yeah, because Dimitrov was hanging on by a thread before Quinn got there.
Sure was.
So, he could be right back, because one of the problems I think that the Falcons have is, okay, yeah, you're getting injuries, but your depth should be able to cover some of that at least.
Some of it.
And it's not. And this is like the second year. And that goes to your scouting and your drafting. So, and in the moves that you're making in free agency, like you said, they brought Vic Beasley back for what?
Yeah, they paid Deion Jones, and people still able to run all over him. He ain't moving plays. True Font's back there. He ain't been the same in years. So, yeah, it's gonna be a complete overhaul. I would feel sorry for him, but they're in my division, so I don't.
No, man, we can't. I don't feel sorry for the Falcons. I kind of feel sorry for the
fans.
I feel bad for the homies and the fans, because they die hard. They don't deserve this shit.
Nah, they don't. Shit, just all y'all had to do was just run the ball. Y'all would have still been riding that wave.
Yeah, but story of Atlanta teams, man. I know one Atlanta team, one that's sitting on top of my head right now. The Braves better not pull this shit. Game 5 tomorrow. So y'all better come out here and take care of business in advance to the NLCS, and not have another promising year go down the drain with a first round playoff exit.
Yeah, that would be trash. So we'll see which way it goes.
Pretty much, especially after I made a real valiant effort this season to actually follow and watch y'all.
You did.
All season. I ain't wait till after the All-Star break either.
That's what I do. But
actually took my ass to a game and sat out there in the hot ass sun.
Ain't no way in hell I'd have went to a daytime game in like July. Was that August you went?
No, it was like June.
Okay, it was hot.
But I did the smart. Hot. It was hot, but I did the smart thing. Set up under the overpass. So I sacrificed sitting down low, close to the action, set my ass up top, so I could be in the shade, and it worked out pretty good.
Let's see if they get it done tomorrow.
They'll get it done. We got this. It's a home game. We got it covered. All right, people, we finna get up out of here. We will be back in a couple days to give y'all our picks. I'm not sure if any big college games are coming this week, but we'll look over that and we'll
LSU, Florida.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, the Florida team got a little bit. Well, no, he came back in that game, so he's not hurt too. Never mind. But that's a big game coming up this week, so we may touch on that, maybe give a prediction on that. But in the meantime, y'all continue to watch, hit those subscribe buttons on the YouTube, Spreaker, and iTunes platform. Don't forget to check out the AA Sportscast Twitter, Facebook, and IG pages. Shout out to the Urban Arena crew, Glass and Brandon at Get With It Sports, JB and Big Q over there at Team Boy TV doing their thing. Y'all go check their shows out as well. Uncle Hey, if these good people out here in the universe want to reach out to you on social media, how can they reach you?
You can reach me at Rike6000. Holla at me. I talk sports.
All right. You can find me at Diego Barisham on Twitter as well. So, again, people, we appreciate y'all. This is episode 193 of AA Sports, Straight Sports. No goddamn chaser. We up out of here. Holla at y'all in a couple of days. Y'all be easy.
Peace.